Hello everyone. I wanted to really quickly make a video to talk about some announcements and things. So first of all, I sent out an announcement about instructions for purchasing the textbook if you did not have first day complete. If you have not done that yet, the 14-day trial expires tomorrow, so make sure you get on that. You can find the announcement under Course Home Announcements, or you can find the email that got sent out to you. Next, I wanted to highlight a couple of resources within Pearson. If we go to Student Resources and Study Plan, we'll find here a breakdown of all the different chapters. And let's say you really want to dig into this section of our textbook about demand. You could go in here and hit Practice, and it will bring up a bunch of different practice questions that you can go through, all related to this section of our chapter. And then you can also go to, there's the quiz section, and as you complete these, they'll fill in with purple so that you can easily see at a glance what you've studied. So this is a really useful tool that I highly recommend you make use of. And especially for this chapter, chapter 3 about supply and demand, is kind of the pivotal chapter of our course. So it's really important that you have a mastery and confidence when it comes to this particular material. So another really useful tool beside the study plan is our multimedia library. If we go to chapter 3 and hit, we can see a whole bunch of different materials. Obviously our textbook chapters, figures, some data, some videos, but two particularly useful tools are the interactive figures that we have associated with this chapter. So let's say you are having difficulty understanding shifts in supply and demand. You can't visualize it. It's hard as you're reading the chapter, right? And this is a very common problem when looking at this across many years. This is often the hardest thing for people to kind of get a grip on. If we go to here, we have this chart here, this supply and demand graph, and we can actually go in and look at different factors. So for instance, changes in demand. What happens when the taste for reusable water bottles changes? Let's say people's taste for reusable water bottles decreases. We can move this and actually see how the demand curve shifts and what effect it has on the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity demanded in the market. Pretty useful. We can also look at things like, what if the number of firms in the market changes? What if we have more firms in the market? And we can see how supply shifts in response. So this is an extremely useful tool. You can also come over here and print out the chart, download it as an image, so that if you're building a study guide or something like that, that might be a very useful tool for you as well. And of course, this isn't just the case for chapter 3. Every chapter, if we look at chapter 4, for instance, if we look, we can find all sorts of different useful figures. We have some more interactive figures on surplus and price ceilings. So these are extremely useful tools that I highly recommend you make use of. That's all I had for this week. We'll check in next week.